my mom. It's loud. The basement's nice.
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 All right, so we're chit chatting here. We're gonna be real about it for a second. Rich has got important stuff going on tomorrow, so we're gonna try to keep this nice, short, and sweet. But he's ready to roll, right, Rich?
Oh yeah. I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but I'll talk about anything.
So we're gonna talk about the I don't know. I have nothing.
So there were a couple things that came out, and I can't remember exactly fucking what I wanted to talk about. I had a list, and my brain is foggy as hell right now.
We'll go down to the list where you wrote it down, like notes and organized and stuff.
Yeah, except for I didn't. This is the one time I did. Like normally we do. Now you don't know because you don't fucking read them, but we do have a run sheet that we normally work off of. And this is the one time when I didn't fucking.
Yeah, for everyone that doesn't know what we do here, we actually do, for the most part, we run through notes on Google Doc. Bob or I create them. Rich reads them sometimes. But Rich is better like off the cuff, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right, Bob.
Hey,
Yeah.
no. I listen, man. That's good as long as you've got a skill set. Which is fine. I like to have my notes organized. I can do improv, but
I've got a certain set of skills and something or
something like that. Yeah, but we're not talking about sword swallowing right now.
We're not.
Well, so there is a couple things I can think of off the top of my head though. So obviously we're getting close to the release of Ant-Man Quantumania. And more stuff is coming out. Rich, I don't know how vested you are in this, but what did you think of the MODOK reveal?
I didn't see it.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet? Okay. So how do you feel about MODOK as a character?
It's fine. I didn't mind I watched the Patton Oswalt series. I was going to call it stop motion, but I guess it wasn't really stop motion. I don't know. It was okay. I don't know how well the character's going to do in live action. I think he's better as a cartoon. I liked him in the 90s Iron Man series. I think that was the one who was in. A giant floating head, I guess, is always fun, especially if it's designed only for killing. So we'll see how it goes.
So I've heard all kinds of rumors and stuff, and the one that keeps popping up. So like in the trailer, he's got like almost like a robotic face. And I'm thinking it might be some kind of helmet or something. But so the rumor is that, remember in Ant-Man 1, where Darren Cross gets sucked down into, we don't know it at the time, but eventually we realize it's the quantum realm. And the last thing that's big on him is his head. And so there's people saying that Darren Cross, who was the villain from I keep on saying Iron Man, from Ant-Man, is actually going to be taking George Charlton's place as MODOK, which could be interesting. I want to know how they get to the name MODOK from,
See, this is going to sound weird, but I saw both of the Ant-Man movies and enjoyed both of the Ant-Man movies, but I couldn't tell you the plot to either of the Ant-Man movies. Worst character in the second one, and Michael Douglas strings things, and there's ants and Paul Rudd.
I think that's a good point, and Rich, you think I nail on the head for me anyway. And this is me as a comic book fan growing up, but not a hardcore follower, if you will, later in life. So a lot of my knowledge is based off of what's happened in Hollywood. I think that's a great point, what you just said. I remember seeing both of those, but I have no idea what the plot is.
Yeah, they were okay. They were just kind of there, and then they were gone. And then there was 9 million other comic book movies, so now they're all starting to blend together.
That is such a spot on.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is.
And
don't get me wrong, I absolutely love a lot of everything that's been done, MCU, whatever. But you're right. You're absolutely right. That's Bob.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I can't argue. And look, and again, I love.
I'm not saying they're bad. I just
Yeah. No, I don't think the movies are bad. I mean, aside from Morbius and like
I haven't seen that yet.
90% of what DC put out was god awful.
is that bad? Morbius is bad Joker, right?
No, yeah, Jared Leto, yeah.
Bad Joker.
Who's going to be in the next Tron movie, which is going to make it suck, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm really upset about that.
Jared Leto's like the 5th or 6th best Joker. Where are we at on that?
Dude, Jared Leto is. I don't even.
That could be a whole other podcast. Who's the best Joker?
Oh, the best Joker. It's a tie. It's a 3-way tie.
You said 3-way.
I did say 3-way. It's a 3-way tie. It's a 3-way tie between. If you're going live action, then it's a 2-way tie.
Yeah, we're talking about movies here. We're not talking about cartoons or movies or the television show from the 60s.
I think you're doing a disservice to the character if you don't include Mark Hamill. Because I think to a lot of people, Mark Hamill is the Joker, especially people our age. But I would say your live actions, there hasn't been too many, but you're talking Nicholson or you're talking Ledger.
Yeah.
Because Leto, Leto sucked, man. Everybody was concerned about Batfleck. I was more concerned about Leto, and I was right.
I love the Ledger one. Obviously, I have a place in my heart for Nicholson because it's Jack. But if you did not, and Bob, I think Rich and I talked about this, but a little bit, and you've not seen the Joker, right? With Joaquin.
Oh no, I completely forgot about him.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet.
If there's a real 3-way tie, as you say, to me, Nicholson, Heath, Joaquin. That's my take.
See, the problem with picking the best Joker is each of those movies that you did a completely different character for the Joker, and he was the best character in those movies.
Exactly, 100%, right? That's the hard part.
Joaquin Phoenix is basically, and I think we may have said this in the other one, it's falling down, but with the Joker. So you watch this guy basically collapse. Like he starts from like a point and just his life gets worse and worse until he finds a way out of it. And especially for the time that it was in, it hit where you have everyone kind of fighting against authority. So it's a very anti-authority, anti-establishment thing. And Joaquin Phoenix going crazy was very good. Like he played the character well because he's a good actor. And then you got Jack Nicholson, who again was in that 90s Batman, 89 Batman, 89 90s, where it's pseudo-serious. It's that Tim Burton world. You have the gangster. The comics just did a series called Three Jokers, which does it the same way. They have the comedian Joker, the criminal Joker, and the clown Joker. And that's kind of what these three movies are. And then you have Jack Nicholson, fantastic actor, fantastic character in that role. Joaquin Phoenix, fantastic character, fantastic actor. Heath Ledger, fantastic character, fantastic actor. Jared Leto, meh. But another part of it, though, too, at least for the movie he was in, they wrote the Joker bad. Like, it was, I don't know what they were trying to do with the Joker. Now, again, maybe a better actor could have done better with the role, but it was just weird what they turned him into, especially. And then the problem with Jared Leto, too, is you hear the stuff leak where, yes, Heath Ledger gets into the thing and is a good actor. Joaquin Phoenix had some problems being method or whatever, where he did that whole I'm a singer kind of thing or whatever and kind of douchebaggy, but he still came out of it at the end as an actor. Jared Leto sends people use condoms because he's the Joker. It is no, that's not the Joker. That's not I don't get the face paint. I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, and I think my biggest before I even saw him play it, my biggest concern was I'd seen him in other stuff, and I was never really a big fan. I liked his band. I like 30 Seconds to Mars. They're pretty good.
Was he? There was that. It's not Dune. It was the one with the robots, the Nexus thing, and Blade Runner. Was he in Blade Runner 2049? He may have been the bad guy in that. I get him confused with. It was Jared Leto. Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
he wasn't terrible in that.
But I think that the design that they gave him hurt him going
The
into
best
it.
thing Jared Leto did was get beat up by Tyler Durden in Fight Club. That was it.
I always forget that he was in that.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that's
guy.
weird. Yeah, I was forgetting
I wanted to destroy something beautiful. That's the
Yeah.
perfect role for him. Get destroyed by.
Yep.
Yep.
But he was. I was never. I mean, I've been a fan of some of the stuff he was in. I think we talked about that movie War Dogs with him and Nick Cage, or
I think we either talked about it here or we texted about it at some point.
Yeah, but he was in that, and he was good in that. He's had a couple roles here and there, but whenever they give him these major roles where it's already an established character, he tries to put his spin on it. And when he tries to put his spin on it, he ruins the character. And I don't know whose idea it was to design the Joker like that. I don't know if it was his or if it was somebody else's, but the design of the Joker in the movies was fucking terrible. The Joker's not going to go out and get a grill. The Joker's not going to go out and get his face tatted up. That was just the stupidest shit that I've ever seen in my life. Like, it didn't work. It didn't work.
And I think for that, to the point you just said there, I think that's what makes the Heath Ledger one so special. You just said the perfect line right there. The Joker's not going to go get himself tatted up. He's not going to get his face tatted up, whatever. The Joker with Heath Ledger was so real, with the lines in the Dark Knight of the blades in the mouth, and it's I don't know. That's where it hits home for me, I guess. Like, to me, like, I love Nicholson, absolutely love Joaquin in the Joker, but Heath, man, I don't know. It just hits different for me. So if I was gonna pick like a best, that just, with what you just said, like, try not to fake it and be more realistic. That's it for me.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is I think that, especially if you buy into the backstory that people have kind of created for him, where he's like a post 9/11 veteran. He served overseas. The way he got the scars was in, over in the Middle East. And then he comes back and feels disenfranchised because the government just kind of says, okay, here you go, figure it the fuck out. Like it does with so many veterans when they get back from war. And so he's like, you know what? Fuck it. This system's broken. I'm going to fucking have fun. And that's kind of where he goes from there. And I feel like that's probably the most accurate depiction of how Heath Ledger's Joker got to that point.
It's a good point. Really good point, actually. I don't know. Sorry, my apologies for just kind of just randomly bringing that up. But
I can talk about the Joker. That sounds like a good. I don't want him to have an origin. I like it better where how did I get these scars? And every time it's a different story because none of them are true.
Yeah. Oh no, I like that too.
Love that. Yep.
I love that. But I feel like I don't want them to tell me the backstory. I want people to not know, like you said. But I think that that backstory for me fits really well. And then he goes around and never tells anybody exactly why, which fits into a lot of the military too, where when you're in, they literally tell you, hey, if you're having mental issues, you need to bury that shit because you're not going to be fit for duty and you're not going to be able to do this. And you're not going to be able to do that. And you're going to be sidelined and you're not going to, at least maybe it's changed since I was in. But when I was in, you didn't talk about any of that shit Because if you did, number one, you were looked down on. Number two, you were made fun of. Number three, you were just like basically shelved, and you could lose your job, and you could lose your career, and you could lose your livelihood. So
the Joker character has always had some level of snark, right?
Right.
I mean, that's
Some
just
level of what? Sorry, you reason.
some snark. Like that's just the way the Joker character. So, all right, and I may be misstepping here, but the Joker to the DC universe, as far as what Rich you just said, and I think this is a great point. I don't want to know where those scars came from. The story changes every time. I think there's a certain character in the Marvel universe that, maybe, kind of tugs on your heartstrings, but story changes a little bit. I would say that a likable character comparatively, and this is going to sound really weird because we're talking about villains, a hero, whatever. There's some really weird ties to Deadpool with Joker.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Yeah,
So,
elaborate, please.
you basically have a regular person, both cases, right? And again, I'm not getting into the deep instances of everything comic book wise here. Regular person that just tugs on your heartstrings at a certain point. Tell me when the Joker is not tugging on your heartstrings at a certain point. Like at some instance of either reading them in the books or watching them in a movie. Although, Rich, this may be more for you because Joker with Joaquin tugged at my heartstrings a little bit more than maybe Heath did, but yeah.
I was gonna say, because I honestly, from all my years of reading the comics and from the movies and everything, there's never and again, I have not seen the Joker, so there's never really been a time when I've seen him as a sympathetic character aside.
Right, and then I think that's where the Joaquin one comes in. Is like there's some weird sympathy there that I felt for the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, at least. It's really weird. It's like I felt a similar sense of sympathy, and I think that's where I was going with that. Was that there's a sympathetic part of me that feels that way for the Joaquin Joker, because it's like the Joaquin Joker. Rich, had to back me up on this if you want to, but it's almost like he was bullied.
It's almost like he was what? Say again. I'm sorry.
Bullied.
Oh yeah.
So that's the reason why that's the way he was.
Until he finally snapped. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And in the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, movie stuff, not that he was bullied, but like it was like, boy, he really was dealt a bad hand. You know what I mean? Like,
well, in Alan Moore created a possible origin for the Joker in the comics, in The Killing Joke, which is the same series where Barbara Gordon gets shot and becomes Oracle. Joker kills her. It's the whole concept is one bad day can mess up your life, and what it was the Joker was a failed comedian trying to make ends meet. His wife becomes pregnant. He's really doing bad as a comedian, can't bring any money. Used to work for the chemical company, and these guys want to rob it, and they dress him up like the Red Hood to go into the chemical company because he knows how to get in there to steal whatever it was he was supposed to steal. And the night that the crime's supposed to happen, his wife dies in a car accident. So he doesn't have to go through with the crime anymore because that's the reason why he was doing it. And the criminals say, no, we need this money. We want the money. You're doing it anyway. And that's when Batman breaks in and knocks him into the vat of acid, because that's how all the Batman characters were created at the time. And it was just that one day that messed him up. So there you feel bad for him because he's just this, he loses his wife and kid, unborn kid. He's just this loser kind of character, and he becomes the Joker that way. And that was the same as the Leto. But again, even in that thing, at the end of it, he says that may be the origin, it may not be the origin. Sometimes I remember it differently because the Joker's crazy.
Right.
The Joker's what do they call that narrator? The kind that you
He's
just
an unreliable narrator.
yeah. You just can't believe
Well,
anything he says.
and what I think, I read that, and I think by the end when he shoots Barbara and then sends the pictures and everything to Jim and all that, I had completely forgotten that that it started out like that, because I was so horrified by his actions towards the end of the book, So there was, as much as you can be.
They turned that into a cartoon too, and to make it longer, they have Batman fuck Batwoman, and it was just not good.
Yeah, it was.
That shouldn't have been in there. That wasn't part of the comic. It didn't make sense for either of the characters.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I didn't mean to go kind of off the rails there with trying to compare Joker to Deadpool.
Yeah.
I make it for a point of my point in the whole that was, movies, comics, TV, whatever, they try to make you feel for a character because they always put some realism in that. The reason why I compare those two is that you compare some sort of almost real life feeling to both. It's weird, and maybe it's because of like the generational stuff. I don't know, maybe because like the Joker is a hot topic, here and there, and especially with Heath Ledger, and Ryan Reynolds is a hot topic with Deadpool. Maybe that's how I can combine those. But I think, but that's my point, though. It's like I think I really do. I think you can compare at a certain point. It's like, hey, you know what? We have a hero, we have a villain, but you can feel for both. I don't know. But Bob, you need to see the Joker with Joaquin. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see it, especially since the second one's gonna be coming out.
Yes.
To play into.
That's why that's the whole. That was my whole. Really, the only reason why I even said that. That watching that really changes your mind.
To slightly derail, but also go back to another thread that you mentioned earlier when you said Jared Leto's the Joker, and the Joker wouldn't act that way with the face paint, or not the face, but the tattoos and the grill and stuff. I was watching that Velma series. Now, I'm very liberal, very left-wing. I don't mind any of the diversity they added to it. But none of these characters are the Scooby-Doo characters. Like, it's why would you take these characters so far away from where they started and still call it Scooby-Doo? You're doing that. You can't even use Scooby-Doo, so Scooby-Doo's not in there. Like I said, I don't mind the characters. I don't mind Velma being Indian, an Asian, Daphne. I don't mind everyone being that's fine, because that doesn't matter. The characters can still be there, but Velma's the smart girl, Daphne's the Daphne, Fred's the Fred, and no, Fred in this is it's just a lot of people are saying that they're trying to make a Harley Quinn series and get that same kind of vibe that Harley Quinn has. But you don't do that with Scooby-Doo characters, with the fundamentally. And if you do, you still keep them the same characters and just put them in more adult situations. Like, it's still Scooby-Doo would have worked had you totally said, okay, Shaggy's definitely a stoner now. They're still solving crimes or whatever, but not with the way they're doing it in this series. It's like, wow. It's kind of the same way and it's not the fault of. See, I was just getting ready to tie this to the female Ghostbusters. The female Ghostbusters wasn't a bad movie because it was female Ghostbusters. It was a bad movie because it was a bad movie. The script sucked and the jokes weren't funny. And that's the same reason why the Velma series isn't bad because it's woke. It's bad because it's a bad series.
That's a fantastic point.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the stuff that's been redone, I don't mind it either. It's like, hey, you know what's cool? Let's add whoever.
Yeah.
It does not bother me. But at the actual crux of it, the series are just so poor that I can't watch it.
Yeah, that's one I haven't seen, but that is the constant that I see.
I've watched every Scooby-Doo thing, including the live-action movies.
Well, let me ask you this: why you said they can't use Scooby-Doo? Why can't they use Scooby-Doo?
They don't want to put the cartoon character in the. They don't want to put the kid-friendliest cartoon character. They just didn't want to let them use it. They said, I think these people who own the right said no because you're going to wreck Scooby-Doo and want to keep Scooby-Doo wholesome.
Okay.
The character
Like
Scooby-Doo.
wholesome like this, like
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that
I think that's the other thing is they're trying to say that this isn't a kid show, and I think if you put the talking dog in there, it becomes more of a kid show.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that was my thing. Like, I just never understood why they were going to make a Scooby-Doo show without Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo also wasn't in the Scooby-Doo Triple X porn parody. They left him out of that as well.
Did they? I'm
Yes,
surprised.
they did. Yeah.
I'm surprised. I figured a Red Rocket.
was it like on a more normal site?
The plot is they're looking for Scooby-Doo, and while Scooby-Doo is kidnapped, so they're trying to find Scooby-Doo, and while they're trying to find Scooby-Doo, they wind up in adult situations.
I was gonna say because a non-normal site would have probably had Scooby-Doo.
Probably, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The Scooby-Doo, at least there's other ones that veered off of this too, but Scooby-Doo is supposed to be, as scary and as scary as a situation is, there's always a guy in a mask behind it. Like there's always something else to it. Unless like you're at a school for ghosts or you're turned Shaggy into a werewolf that happened in the cartoons. And I think there was aliens in one of them too, but for the fundamental part, it's, don't be scared. It's always a rational explanation behind it.
Yeah. I liked the one. I remember the Ghoul School one. I liked that one. But I'm just waiting now. There's going to be some kind of like, oh wait, no, they already did it. They already did the shitty. You know how like all the animation looks the same now?
Yeah.
I forget what they call the style, but they already did a Scooby-Doo like that, didn't they?
Yeah, Be Cool Scooby-Doo. I think it may have been called one of them. Yeah. That wasn't terrible though. The Thundercats one was terrible, but again, they didn't have Thundercats. It was here's our chibi characters, and they're going to act like cats. Like, well, they're Thundercats, but they're like, it was just, that wasn't good. It was for kids, though. I don't know if kids enjoyed that one or not.
Well,
I know that I really liked the Teen Titans cartoon when it first started, and it was a serious cartoon. And then they turned it into Teen Titans Go, and I thought it was shit, but my nephews really like it.
Yeah, that's Peyton loved the Teen Titans Go, and I was like, what the hell is this shit? Like, it was terrible.
The original Teen Titans, though, was just another spin-off of that Batman the Animated Series, Superman, Justice League.
Yeah.
And then boom, it became Teen Titans.
But I thought that was really good, and I liked Young Justice.
Young Justice is fantastic, yes.
And hey, did you see Doom Patrol? Diane Guerra basically said it's over.
Yeah, she said goodbye, but I kind of guessed anyway. But it might not be. It'd be interesting to see. They're on hiatus now, which is dumb. I don't like how they're doing a mid-season thing.
I hate the mid-season breaks.
Yeah, it's dumb, especially in a streaming thing.
Yeah, I look, cartoon or live action, I've never been a fan of that. It just doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to be a live streamer, just dump the whole series out.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, and that's the other thing. I absolutely, unless you're currently filming the season, I hate the idea of, we're going to give you one episode a week. We have one, here you go. We're drip feed this shit out. But I mean, I guess it helps the services because then you don't.
It's a weird. You're in a weird conundrum because you're dealing with we grew up with we get one a week, but then we also grew up with we get all of it we want, now let's give us the whole thing. So I think it's a weird, I guess whoever's behind it, let's try to just make them happy.
Well, I feel like it's more so, and I've said this multiple times, and then new shit comes out and I never cancel it. But like with Netflix, I don't need Netflix anymore. Like there's nothing on there that interests me except for, they're getting ready to, they're not really getting ready right now, but they're going to release Umbrella Academy, or they're going to release the next season of Stranger Things, or Wednesday. So now, like when Wednesday comes out, I'll have to see that. So I'll have to either cancel it and sign back up, or or I'll just end up doing what I've been doing and just keep the fucking service.
And I think there's the thing with Netflix is that you're trying to find something to watch. Don't get me wrong. I know both of you, always have things in your queue. But it's like, I'm trying to think of something to watch. The first service that pops in your head, because it was the first one, is Netflix.
Mm.
So it's hard to, just be like, yeah, let's get rid of it.
The one that gets me is Amazon Prime, because I never watch anything on Amazon Prime. And I'm still paying, $110 a year for it now. And I guess I'm using free shipping. I don't know.
Yeah, you're using it for your, I might get this in 5 days instead of 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now
I started watching The Tick, and then they do have Invincible, which is really good, and The Boys, which is good, even though it veered off from the comic a lot. Still very
a lot. Yeah, they took some huge liberties in the show. But that's literally you named the 2 shows on Amazon Prime that I watch, because I haven't watched. I wanted to watch The Man in the High Castle. There's a couple other shows that I really wanted to watch on there, and I just never have. I think I got it when they got Doctor Who, and I watched Doctor Who on it, and then I caught up to where the end of the new Who that they had, and I was like, well, okay, I guess I'll still keep it, and now I think Disney Plus has Doctor Who.
I don't know.
I don't know. I was in a search earlier today or yesterday. I was looking for something on streaming, and it was like it came up as Disney Plus, and I was like, that's not Disney Plus.
They got Willow, which I need to finish or watch.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet.
I started watching. Apparently, it's a sequel from the movie, so I started watching the movie over again.
All right. So here's the thing with Disney Plus and Doctor Who. Disney Plus is to become the new global home for upcoming seasons of Doctor Who outside of the UK and Ireland. This was as of January 9th. So there you go.
Well, see, the other problem with Disney Plus is I went to go watch an episode of The Simpsons on it that I heard was really good. And apparently Hulu airs the current season of The Simpsons, and Disney Plus has all the past seasons of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see a current season episode because it was that Death Note thing, which wasn't the Halloween episode.
Oh, it was so good. Wait, that wasn't on the Halloween? Are you sure?
No, it was like a separate, it wasn't Treehouse of Horror. It was, or maybe it was the other way around. Maybe they did.
No, the Death Note was Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah, they did 2 Halloween specials. They did a Treehouse and they did a non-Halloween or non-Treehouse one.
Oh.
And I wanted to see the non-Treehouse one is what it was. It was something like that. I forget exactly. Anyway, I don't have Hulu Plus, so I had to bootleg it because
I was going to say if Death Note was definitely Treehouse.
Yeah.
Huh.
That was really good.
Yeah, it was. They did a fantastic. And as long as The Simpsons have been on, they just they don't stop.
Oh, and I've watched all the horrible Simpsons shorts that are on Disney Plus that are just advertisements for other Disney Plus things, especially the Billie Eilish one. The Billie Eilish one is definitely the worst of the ad for Simpsons.
I haven't seen that one.
I don't watch those.
She sings with Lisa.
The only one that
they're only 5 minutes long. Like they're really short.
Yeah.
The worst one of those though was that there's a Studio Ghibli Baby Yoda show. Let's watch this. Oh. And it's a 5 minute, not even 5 minute. It was like this super short animation of Yoda dancing with the little sprite things from Spirited Away.
Yeah. My kids routinely will ask for watching The Simpsons on Disney Plus, and I say anything in single digits. Yeah. Season 9 and below is fine.
What season was the Join the Navy one?
I don't know.
That was an early season.
I don't know. I usually stick between 3 and 7.
Yeah. Join the Navy.
It's Simpson. Yeah, we're all nerds here.
Yeah. Was that the one where baseball was a thing too? Part of.
I love that one. Yeah.
It's 12, but I always think between basically 3 and 7 is my go-to. All right. So here's the thing: do you all have a favorite Simpsons episode?
Monorail.
Monorail's good, but any of the tree houses are good, especially the first
Yeah,
couple.
I mean that's the thing. Like Monorail just jumps to mind, but there's so many. Like,
Deep Space Homer for me. I cannot get past Deep Space Homer. It's my favorite.
Deep
I
Space
absolutely-
Homer's good.
Yeah, I love it.
What was the one where? Fuck. I like the Ralph one, the Valentine's Day one.
Like choo choo
I
choo.
choose you.
The one where him and Bart became friends too, so Bart could have the keys to this house.
Yeah, because that's where I saw the leprechaun. He tells me to burn things.
It's so good.
It's the best.
I like the one where they aged him up, where they all went to high school in the '90s together and listened to Nirvana.
Yeah, for some reason, Deep Space Homer just speaks to me. I don't know why, but the whole Kent Brockman, Bob, you and I have talked about this with the the ant overlords.
Oh yeah, I for one welcome our new ant overlords.
I for one welcome our new ant overlords.
I say that shit all the time, and people look at me like, "The fuck is wrong with you?" I'm like,
It's so good.
if you know, you know. If not, I can't help you.
It's so good.
Lisa needs braces.
Shit.
Go Apple, go Orange, go Banana.
I love our regular show. We don't talk about anything.
No, yeah, like we're fucking idiots. Like, and we wonder why speaking of single digits, we wonder why our listens are in single digits. Because we come on, we have no idea, we have no agenda. We just come on here and talk about bullshit, and then But this is what I always tell people.
One of the last episodes, though, I'm hoping we break into the homosexual population with that
with
musical talk we did. Yes.
I started listening to it and I really liked it. And it made me think, like, there is a list of musicals that I want to watch.
Cabaret. Start with Cabaret.
Okay.
The music's fantastic, and it's Nazis in Germany and threesomes.
But I don't like Nazis.
Yeah, Danielle had such a great time that night, Rich. You all are going to have to go on and deep dive into a musical or two, because that was awesome. Y'all figured out 2 hours. We can't do 2 hours on a regular pod.
I want to see Cats the Butthole Cut. I want to see Evil Dead the musical. I want to see Avenue Q. I want to see.
Oh, I just started watching Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, which started out as a YouTube series, and the BBC picked it up and turned it into like a 6-episode series. It's they start out like your general Sesame Street. There's these 3 friends just sitting in their house, and something comes to life and starts singing to them, like to teach them a lesson or story. And then they get really dark and messed up and metaphysical and just totally fucked up. Oh, it's awesome. It's like a smarter version of Wonder Chosen, or was Wonder Chosen the one that came with a DVD that was fuzzy? There was another one, TV Funhouse, like along those lines.
Yeah, Wonder Chosen was the fuzzy.
That's racist too. Was Wonder Chosen, right?
Yeah,
that's racist. Yeah. It's like a smarter version of that because they're British, but like smarter in like a cerebral kind of. They're just weird. They're awesome.
Yeah,
I highly recommend it.
All right, so I want to see that.
Start with the YouTube series. YouTube series is free, so yeah.
That free is for me.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't hug me. I'm scared.
Don't hug me. I'm scared. Okay. I want to see what was the other? There's another musical that I want to see, and I can't remember the damn name of it. I want to see Jersey Boys.
Was it the one that she was talking about where Leah Michelle shows people her lady bits?
Oh, what was that?
Well, I mean, I want to see Leah Michelle's lady bits, but no, I want to see, but I do want to see Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
That's really good.
You guys didn't even talk about that, did you?
I tried to bring it in there a little bit. Like, it wasn't on the list, but I inserted it in there because I liked it.
Okay,
I think you even described the plot a little bit.
You did. I want to see that.
The soundtrack's amazing. It's a really good, because it's like rock music kind of a soundtrack. So.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I didn't think that was. Yeah, I was going to say. I was going to say that's one of Danielle's favorite ones. I don't know.
Origin of Love is a fantastic song off of that soundtrack.
I want to see Rock of Ages. And then what was the other one? There was
Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's always a good one.
dude, I love Rocky Horror. What I do want to see though is I do want to see one with the audience participation because I've only ever watched the. I've got it on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K.
If depending on what DVD you have, there's probably an audience participation track on it.
Nice. I'll have to look.
Yeah.
So, but there's
think
quite a few.
I think on the 20 one of the I bought it several times too, and on one of them I had if you have surround sound, the audience comes from behind you. So like the show's playing in front of you, and then the audience is yelling from behind, which is really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, it's just kind of badass.
Yeah, that makes me want to get surround sound. I'll have to look because I have a couple different versions of it. I'll have to see if any of them have the audience participation one because I'd like to see that. Yeah, they actually do every year. They do that in the park down here. They have but I don't know. It's always too hot and humid, and well, we're in Florida, so I'm worried about protests. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. So
protest?
Yeah, we had a protest down here the other day. It was two guys standing on opposite corners of the road, and they were wearing all white except for a blotch of blood red on their crotches, and they were protesting circumcision. And the guy had a sign that said, "I want my foreskin back." And then he also had a sign that said, "Circumcision is sexual battery on children."
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, they were standing at on the corners of the road here.
But wait a minute. Wait. That's a religious belief, and I don't think we've ever had Christians groom children before.
No, never. No, especially Catholics. Catholics, known for their protection of children and not touching them in naughty places.
I'm just
Tom's not involved.
No. It's not that I'm not involved. My take on this is that why?
Yeah.
What are you trying to prove?
Well, and it's not like we're a huge city. They weren't near anywhere that had anything to do with it. They were literally.
You got to nuke something.
They were standing at the corner.
Got to have that belief in whatever. Just got to nuke something.
Yeah,
nuke
it was the weirdest fucking thing. Nuke the whales.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest fucking thing though. And then last night, and then was it last night or the night before? We had an issue with an 80-year-old lady who was drunk. She was at a bar and she started assaulting people at the bar. We sent officers to go get her. She acts like she's going to give the one female officer a hug, and then she starts smacking the shit out of her. And then she kicks one of the male officers in the nuts.
Does this end with the 80-year-old lady getting tased?
She didn't get tased. She did go to jail.
Okay.
But when she got to jail, she started battering all the people at the jail, and she kicked a nurse in the stomach.
Wow.
So, she was going off. We did, I believe we missed with the taser. Not her, another person, same night. We missed them with the taser, though. So it was an interesting night and good old.
Since we're talking about Florida and protests and stuff, I'm pretty sure I can say this with some confidence that I don't think anyone has ever gone to a drag show or seen people perform drag and go, I was heterosexual until I saw that guy sing Cher songs dressed like a woman. Now I'm gay.
I agree. And I also, I don't know. I don't want to get political, but I make the laws make sense. That's all I'm going to say.
I really liked Vagina. And then there was Liza Minnelli singing female impersonator. And just RuPaul. RuPaul was what sent me over the line.
Wait. How did you go from Liza Minnelli to RuPaul?
They're both drag.
Yeah,
People when they do drag,
that's
they do
that's a common
female
one.
impersonators. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were
Yeah.
trying to say that Liza Minnelli was a dude in drag.
No,
Well,
no,
that's
people do that.
a common one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Liza Minnelli, Cher, Bette Midler.
I mean, come on, Rich. If we're gonna get deeper, let's just go. Those are easy ones. No, it's you're right, Bob. You made a good point though. It's like, I mean, throw your hands up.
Yep.
You know, I mean, why are you? Look, I'll say this, like, I don't make it a point to hide my beliefs very publicly. If you follow my Twitter, but look, there are certain things that, like, look, me, and I'll say this as the general public, just don't care. We don't at all. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's no fight.
The problem is that you get these politicians that try to pander to the farthest left and farthest right of their fucking groups. And they make up these situations that don't actually exist to scare the people who might be
exactly
one way or the other, and like the litter boxes in schools and shit.
Yes.
Right. Exactly. And
it's not fucking happening.
I laugh because it's so obscure.
Talking,
and look, like I said, I don't make it very it's not a secret, right?
Bob will say how fun Florida is. Florida's a great place to be. I understand this, and it's fantastic. And everyone's going to want to flock there when Disney isn't there any longer because of all this stuff DeSantis is doing to them.
What?
And
no. I fucking hate Florida. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Well, I mean,
dude, everyone's going to always go to Florida. That's the thing.
Yeah. Because
exactly. See, that's the perfect thing. I think all three of us have made the perfect point. It's like, oh, Rich, you said it. Oh, they're not going to come there, and Bob's like, what? And I'm like, they're still going to go there. I mean,
no. Look, what I'm saying. So Florida's never going to, or Disney's never going to pull up its tent stakes, and
no, they won't.
Florida is never actually going to try to push them out. This is all grandstanding.
So here's the thing. Look, politics aside, exactly. It doesn't not matter who the hell the governor is. Look, someone's getting coin, and it's not us.
Right. And look,
that's why we're doing this.
Here's the deal too. And this is the cold hard truth, whether DeSantis wants to believe it or not. Yes, he's the governor. Yes, he can do what he wants to a certain degree. If they dissolve the Reedy Creek special district, Florida taxpayers owe billions, not millions, billions with a B, to pay for it. He is not going to get reelected if he passes measures that cost Florida taxpayers billions.
And that's exactly the whole point. He won't do it. He knows.
Right.
Look, the guy was smart enough to get elected, twice right now as governor. He's not stupid. He's a politician. I don't care if he's Democrat, Republican. That's the whole point. He knows that. He's not going to screw his general base over. No, you're right. You're exactly right. It's funny to me. Like, at the end of the day, look, we might have all different beliefs, but like at a core, I mean, we really do all believe the same thing.
Yeah.
Seriously. I'm dead serious in that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's the end of the day, man. Look, I don't give a fuck if you're gay. I don't give a fuck if you're straight. I don't give a fuck if you're trans, if you're bi, if you're whatever the fuck. Live your life. Be happy. That's all I give a shit about. If you go out and you're breaking the law, then I got a problem with you. Otherwise, fucking, the only thing that I'm against is breaking the law and fucking hating people for shit that they can't control.
I'm against having that much shit on your bed.
Well, look, man, they're blankets and shit.